Imagine a world where air defense isn't about missiles, it's about beams of pure light. The UK's DragonFire laser system is no longer science fiction, it's real, and it's changing everything. Could this cutting-edge technology be NATO's ultimate weapon against emerging threats, rewriting the rules of modern warfare forever? Forget everything you thought you knew about defense. DragonFire isn't just an upgrade, it's a revolution. This laser could be the single most game-changing development for NATO in decades, giving them an unmatched edge. Today, we're uncovering why DragonFire isn't just impressive, it's absolutely critical for the future of global security.
A frozen sky, a streaking incoming missile, and then a blinding beam of pure light cuts through the air like a silent thunderbolt. No explosion, no sound, just precision. In the span of a heartbeat, the missile dissolves into sparks, erased as if it never existed. For viewers around the world, this looks like science fiction. But for military analysts, this is DragonFire, the United Kingdom's most secretive and most advanced laser weapon ever tested in NATO history. And today, that silence might just be the loudest warning to every adversary watching. For decades, NATO relied on billion-dollar missile shields, Patriots, SAMs, interceptors, expensive radar systems. They worked, but only to a point, because modern threats have changed. Swarming drones, hypersonic glide vehicles, low-cost loitering munitions, cruise missiles flying inches above sea level, and electronic warfare scrambling radars. These are breaking traditional air defenses faster than nations can upgrade them. Every shot fired costs millions. Every new threat is cheaper, faster, and smarter. And NATO knows this imbalance can't continue. This is the dilemma that pushed the UK to explore something completely different. A weapon that doesn't rely on explosive warheads or expensive missiles. A weapon that hits at the speed of light. A weapon that never runs out as long as it has power. This is DragonFire, a next-generation directed energy laser system developed by the UK's top defense minds. Not a prototype, not a concept, but a real system tested under real battlefield conditions. And here's what makes it a total paradigm shift. It fires at the speed of light. It costs less than 10 pounds per shot. It can hit a target smaller than a coin from several kilometers away. It's almost impossible to jam, spoof, or outrun. In my personal opinion, this may be the first weapon in decades that genuinely changes the balance of power. Not because it's loud, but because it's silent. Not because it destroys cities, but because it neutralizes threats before they ever reach them. And if NATO integrates DragonFire across Europe, air defense as we know it will never be the same again. We've all seen lasers in movies, thin red beams slicing through metal like butter. But real military lasers? They are far more complex and far more terrifying. DragonFire isn't just a laser, it's a fusion of optics, AI-driven targeting, and power engineering so advanced it almost feels unreal. Here's the simple version. DragonFire charges a powerful energy cell. That energy is converted into a concentrated beam of photons, pure light. Those photons travel in a perfectly focused stream. When they hit a target, they heat it faster than any metal on Earth can survive. No gunpowder, no missile fuel, just energy turned into destruction. DragonFire's beam doesn't explode the target, it melts, ruptures, or destabilizes it in the exact weak point its sensors identify. To the military, this isn't a weapon, it's surgical engineering delivered at the speed of light. And honestly, in my personal opinion, we're witnessing the birth of a new class of warfare. If conventional systems are bow and arrows, DragonFire is a scalpel wielded by lightning. Modern threats like hypersonic missiles, micro-drones, and swarm attacks are designed to overwhelm defenses by speed or numbers, but lasers flip the game. Speed? DragonFire hits instantly. Nothing outruns light. Maneuvers? AI optics auto-correct the beam thousands of times per second. Tiny drones? The beam focuses on a target no bigger than a coin. Hypersonic threats? Their heat signatures and predictable flight paths make them perfect laser targets if your laser is stable, powerful, and precise enough. And DragonFire is. The UK's trials have shown that what was previously impossible to intercept may now be just another target in the crosshairs of a silent light beam. This is why NATO analysts are quietly rethinking their entire defensive architecture. Here's where DragonFire becomes not just impressive, but dangerous. Traditional air defense systems cost $1 million per Patriot interceptor, $400,000 plus for NASAMS missiles, $100,000 for basic anti-drone rockets. DragonFire's cost per shot? Around 10 pounds. 10 pounds! That means a drone swarm worth $50,000 could force a country to spend millions in missiles, or it could force a country to spend $50 with a laser. This cost gap isn't a small advantage. It's the kind of shift that rewrites global military strategy. And if you ask me, this cost effectiveness is the reason adversaries are worried, not because NATO becomes stronger, but because NATO becomes cheaper to defend. You can challenge expensive threats, but you can't challenge physics.
For years, NATO's defense network has been like a layered fortress. Patriot batteries, radar grids, AWACS aircraft, SAM systems, and now even AI-driven drone interceptors. But despite this massive shield, cracks have started to show. Swarm drones bypass radars. Low-cost missiles overwhelm defenses. Hypersonic weapons outrun traditional interceptors. This is where DragonFire slips in, not to replace, but to reinforce the entire architecture. NATO doesn't need a new missile. NATO needs a new layer. DragonFire becomes that layer. It handles cheap threats so expensive missiles are saved for real dangers. It fills the low-altitude blind spots where drones hide. It provides point defense for bases, runways, supply hubs, naval ships, even mobile convoys. In simple terms, missiles do the heavy work. DragonFire does the infinite work. This strategic pair creates something NATO never truly had before, a cost-proof defense grid that can't be financially overwhelmed. And honestly, this is where DragonFire becomes more than a weapon. It becomes a strategy. Imagine Europe at night, but not lit by cities, lit by a lattice of invisible defensive beams protecting the continent. That's the vision NATO planners are quietly hinting at. This isn't one country, one laser. This is 1. Laser arrays guarding coastlines. 2. Mobile DragonFire units defending NATO convoys. 3. Ship-mounted lasers protecting naval fleets. 4. Integrated beam networks sharing target data across borders. A missile launched anywhere near NATO airspace could face 1. UK DragonFire. 2. German IRST. 3. French radars. 4. Polish Vistula interceptors. 5. Danish naval lasers, all working as one. This creates a defense matrix where threats are not just intercepted, they are deleted before they matter. My personal opinion, this networked future is inevitable. Not because NATO wants it, but because adversaries are forcing it. Drones are getting cheaper, missiles are getting faster. Only lasers scale fast enough to match them. Now here's the part shifting global calculations. The UK has already demonstrated DragonFire intercepts under real battlefield-style conditions. Not simulations, not theories, actual high-speed airborne targets neutralized. And according to official defense updates, 1. Full operational integration is targeted for 2027. 2. The Royal Navy is preparing ship-mounted versions. 3. Army mobile platforms are already in prototype testing. 4. NATO observers from multiple countries attended the UK trials quietly. This isn't future tech. This is 3 years from deployment, and rivals know it. China, Russia, and Middle Eastern powers have laser programs, but none have demonstrated this level of stability, accuracy, and affordability in a single system. If DragonFire goes live across NATO by 2027, the skies of Europe change forever.
DragonFire changes the meaning of deterrence. Instead of massive missile stockpiles or risky retaliation, it offers silent prevention. Why would any rival fire a multi-million-dollar missile if a 10 beam of light will erase it mid-air? No explosions, no escalation, just quiet failure for the attacker. In my view, this is deterrence through futility. A defense shield so efficient that aggression simply becomes pointless. The moment DragonFire proved itself, alarms went off worldwide. China, the US, Russia, they all want lasers. But directed energy weapons aren't missiles. They require elite optics, cooling tech, and precision engineering. You can't reverse engineer physics overnight. So yes, an arms race begins, but it's about science, not warheads. And nations that fall behind risk watching their missile arsenals turn obsolete. DragonFire puts the UK back in the spotlight, leading NATO innovation, offering a future-proof defense tool, attracting allied interest and funding, strengthening its defense industry's global influence. In short, the UK moves from follower to trendsetter. This laser isn't just a weapon, it's a diplomatic power card, and the world knows it.
As laser weapons enter the battlefield, one question becomes impossible to ignore. How do you use a weapon that can strike silently, instantly, and endlessly, responsibly? DragonFire forces governments to rethink rules of engagement, civilian safety protocols, transparency in automated targeting. Because a laser that leaves no debris and no explosion can blur accountability if misused. In my view, the true challenge isn't building the weapon, it's building the ethics that control it. No technology stays unchallenged forever. If lasers dominate, adversaries will respond with reflective coatings, ultra-fast evasive drones, AI-driven swarm attacks, counter-laser jamming systems, stealth materials designed to disperse heat. This is the reality of warfare. Every breakthrough triggers a counter-breakthrough. And DragonFire is just the opening move in a much longer game. The nations that survive will be those that innovate continuously. With DragonFire, NATO isn't just upgrading weapons, it's changing the entire philosophy of defense. This is the shift from explosive warfare to energy warfare, from missiles to physics, from destruction to precision. And in my personal opinion, directed energy systems like DragonFire will define the next 50 years of military strategy. Why? Because they make the battlefield cleaner, faster, cheaper, and smarter. A future where defense no longer relies on stockpiles, but on science. This isn't just a new weapon, it's the dawn of a new era.